What is going on, everybody? This is the Relius back with a brand new video. Today's video is focused on 2021's Amazon original movie Tom Clancy Without Remorse. And the synopsis of the movie is: seeking justice for the murder of his pregnant wife, an elite Navy SEAL uncovers a covert pilot that threatens to engulf the United States and Russia in an all-out war. And after watching this movie, I thought this movie, it was pretty good and decent at the same time. I wouldn't say it's the best movie of all time because that is not the case with this movie at all. But this movie definitely does have quite a few enjoyable moments and everything. And here is my review on the matter. What I enjoyed first and foremost about this movie will have to be perhaps the action scenes. In this movie, you have a lot of different action scenes in this movie. And I would say that for the majority of the time, the action portion of this movie was done pretty well. And I would say that some of the action scenes, I wouldn't say they were good. I would just say that they were just all right. Like, it was the typical action scenes that you see in movies, action movies, people shooting and everything, enemies getting killed, etc. Like, it was really nothing special. I felt that the acting in this movie, it was cool. Like, Michael B. Jordan, I thought he did a good job with the acting. I didn't think that it was anything extremely bad or just cheesy, like he can't act or whatever. He did a good job, and I felt that the other main characters in this movie as well did a pretty good job. And I'll say this, I was actually happy to see Lauren London come back and everything. I know she wasn't in this movie for a brief time, but it was actually good to see Lauren London like act again with all that she has been going through. It was nice seeing her for like a hot second. What I would say that I did not like about this movie would probably have to be that this movie is definitely somewhat predictable. Like, you kind of like felt as if like you knew what was going to happen within this movie. And that's what I probably did not like about this movie. It felt predictable in some aspects. Like, you knew that like the main character, John, was going to get his revenge some way, shape, or form, that he was going to avenge the death of his wife. What I did not like about this movie as well is that this isn't nothing new. Like, this isn't like a brand new type of movie. Like, this type of movie has been done, told, created thousands of times, and it will most likely be created again in some aspects in the future with how this movie was. And to me, I felt that Michael B. Jordan in this movie, he did a little bit too much in some of the scenes. Like, I thought in this movie that when he lost his wife, he was going to go like an all-out rage before he gets arrested, but that's not the case. I was actually surprised that he did that crazy scene and he got arrested just like that. Like, I wanted him to like go on some type of like crazy rampage where he's just like turning people, like killing people and everything, like just letting his rage out and everything. But Michael B. Jordan definitely gives out a lot of his rage in this movie. But sometimes, not when he was even like killing folks and everything, he was doing somewhat a little bit too much. But I would say that did not hurt the movie as of yet. Another thing I did not like about this movie would be the villains. Like, when this movie started, I kind of had an idea as to like who was going to be like the villain, but it wasn't who I thought it would be. Like, the villains in this movie, like, they weren't really anything special. It wasn't anything like interesting, typical. Like, the villains, they weren't all that bad. They weren't all that dangerous. They wasn't really nothing special. But out of all, this movie, despite its like many like, despite the negatives, there are many good things about this movie. And I'm not going to blame Michael B. Jordan because it is not his fault. I'm not going to blame Tom Clancy because this is definitely not his fault at all. But out of all, I enjoyed this movie. If I were to rate this movie out of like 5 stars, I would give Without Remorse 3 stars out of 5 because it's a good movie to enjoy. Like, I would say that if you go into this movie expecting something like really big or good, then you're going to be really disappointed. And the mid-credit scenes in this movie, I felt that it helped the movie out a bit. And it definitely did open up a sequel because of what happens to Michael B. Jordan's character. And that is the plan apparently too. They're going to be making a sequel for this movie. So apparently. So yes, that is the end of my review. Thank you for watching. And until next time, goodbye.